Greetings and welcome back to Stellaris, my Commonwealth of Man playthrough.
Science Division report success.
We've completed Flash Coolant 2 for more energy weapon attack speed. We'll get Gravitational Analysis 2 for reduced building cost. And I do have a computing specialist. Alright, now they're building the commercial forum. It'll take probably about 3 months. So probably right before April, I will need to close that merchant slot. Actually, let me check something real quick. There is a colony I need to adjust something on in February. Neville's Bay. Yeah, Neville's Bay, actually it'll be in March. The Galactic Stock Exchange will pop up in about 45 more days. And that will open up 2 ruler jobs, and I want to move rulers over from other worlds to fill those slots. We sold another oxen litter from Destiny. I should leave 1 to sell, yes. And we just sold the last oxen litter from Destiny. And I'll wait until my maintenance cycle to find another world to sell oxen litter from. Latrepians have completed a sentry array. Alright, now that it is March, we'll go back to Neville's Bay. But first, let's check Ganriv. Yeah, it's about 1/3 of the way done. So, yeah, it'll be next cycle before I have to worry about closing that merchant. Neville's Bay has about 15 days left. I'll let it get down closer to 1 or 2. Now, I've already made a note of where I can transfer rulers from, and I want to take them from the stations. Ithaca and Hyperion. And it pulled those 2 unemployed ones, good, to be the new merchants. Now, I did change my mind on using commerce megaplexes because I realized the majority of those jobs would be workers, and all of my humans are specialist or higher. So even though it provides 7 jobs in total, 6 of them will be hard for me to use. Now, I did keep 1 of them because we currently have these human cyborgs that are workers. And as soon as I get them declined, I will probably switch this commerce megaplex over to an administrative office so that I can upgrade to 6. Unless, when I get around to declining humans, it does the same bug it did with the slave species and makes them all unemployed workers. If it does that, that's why I have the clerk jobs favorited. I will end up replacing these with commerce megaplexes.
Ships refitted.
Strike Force Wyvern has finally been refitted, so now I can begin reinforcing it. Why are they cloaked? I guess they were cloaked when I retrofitted them and it hasn't gotten rid of their cloak yet.
Construction complete.
We've got another cloaked fleet over here. Dungavan Hooter reinforcements. Uthabul Station has switched over to a logistics system. I had this world planned out to be a factory humanopolis, but for some reason it was set as Forge World with alloy forges, and alloy support on its logistics system. So I ended up having to switch it over. Same thing with Ubaria was backwards as well. Ubaria was listed as being a foundry ecumenopolis, but was designated as a factory world. So I had to swap it over. That's probably one of the reasons I took a little bit of a hit in consumer goods, because all of these guys were working factory jobs, and there's actually a couple more of them, and they had the bonuses. Now that this is kicked in, it may make a difference. I put oxen litter on the market from Fincastle, only about 3. I thought about putting all the ones on Hawksworth, because there's about 22 there on the market, but I didn't want to dip into my energy production for right now. I can spare the ones on Fincastle. And I'm not reinforcing fleets for a while, since I'm about to have the 2 mega structures completed. Oh, we sold an Ichner Vol. That would be on Mindos. I've got 4 more for sale on Mindos. Now these are ships I had reinforced 3 months ago or more that have finally churned out. I know some of what I was reinforcing were battleships. The Emperor has died at the age of 169. And our new Empress, Ying, is warlike. That's going to help out a great deal, because I believe we will be coming out of peace soon, our peace treaty. She's only 39. Let's see, let's check the Ad Norum Imperium. Yeah, we will be coming out of a peace treaty in 4 years, and then they can start attacking us.
Ships refitted.
Dungavenhooter reinforcements are now refitted. When I go back to reinforcing fleets, I can start reinforcing that one. It's already about half strength. Just leaves 1 reinforcement fleet, which is going to take a while because it requires minor artifacts. We sold another Ichner Vol for double the price. We have a new heir, Svetlana. She has cruiser focus.
Construction complete.
Tendrazun has established a new branch office on Harmony. Which reminds me, I have forgotten the branch office on Ganlariv. Thankfully, nobody jumped over here, so we can close out that merchant slot. And Destinicon Starbase has finished its habitation module, I believe. Manticore Stormlords paid us 10,000 energy credits and dividends. And the Mega Shipyard will be fully completed during our next period, sometime in August, toward the end of August. The Mega Art installation will be closer to December, or midway through December.
Science Division reports success.
We have completed interstellar expansion for more starbase capacity. The immense logistical support networks needed to maintain an upgraded starbase can be further improved, allowing us to support more of these stations. We are now no longer in excess of our starbase capacity. And the next one we will do will be fleet management procedures for more naval capacity. And I am banking my influence because I need 75 to renegotiate the deal with the United Merivandian Imperium. The mega shipyard is now fully online. It can produce starships in unprecedented volume. 20 shipyards. So we will begin the interstellar assembly here in Deneb before moving back in orbit of Marvel. And the Mega Art installation, I believe, has several other upgrades, probably 3 before I get to the final one that requires 1,000 minor artifacts. Now let's go ahead and renegotiate the deal with the United Merivandian, because we will integrate these bags holdings in 2 more months, and I want to make sure the deal has gone through. So first we have to change them from a prospectorium to a protectorate, which we can integrate. We'll make them give us basic resources. Join our defensive wars. And yeah, 75 is as low as I could get it when I was playing around with the sliders earlier, so this is what it's going to be. Cruisers, destroyers, and corvettes. Oh, they agreed almost immediately. Yeah, they're actually giving us less basic resources than they were, but we are subsidizing the research less. They were also giving us advanced resources, I believe. And our unity keeps fluctuating. That's mainly due to our empire size increasing with the number of edicts we are running. There's not really any I want to cancel. We're just going to have to make sure we get more bureaucrats working soon. And in order to do that, we need more consumer goods. I noticed I am missing a mining station here in Sillage, so I have diverted a constructor to take care of that. I also noticed that here I was missing a research station. There was actually a mining station over this star, so it was not getting the physics research that was there. Now, I believe they probably had already established a mining station and had the anomaly event that switched it from, or were victims of somebody else getting the anomaly event and coming over here, that switched it from energy to research or something. And I'm going to be banking my influence to 75 so I can start constructing a gateway here in Taramzal, because more than likely we're going to war fairly soon, and that would put us at war with the United Nations of Earth. We're probably going to retake this system because the United Nations of Earth is not currently upgrading it. What they are doing is upgrading their ring world. They're on the second section of their ring world. They have 2 more sections to upgrade after that. They can probably only do 1 megastructure at a time, so it will be a while before they would get to upgrading this, whereas the Tenderzun are less than 10 years away from completing their current Dyson sphere. They'll be able to work on another megastructure. We sold an Ichnerval slave from Mindos. There's still 2 more to sell here. Felnol have completed the construction of a mega art installation. Now, does that mean they've gotten the final phase? No, I just compared it with mine. It's providing 315. 300 production, 15% effects. The next upgrade adds it to 20%. So since they only have the 15% amenity boost, they did not do the fourth and final level. We are about to integrate Bags Holdings. We got a small amount of physics or of research from the Manticore's Armada in addition to their dividends. Fortress Legionnaires paid us 10,000. And we have integrated Bags Holdings. So we can go ahead and begin the integration. This will take quite some time. That's 6 years and 3 months. So Bags needs to be right after Vesta. And we're going to have to rename Destinicon. We have species here we can decline, plus there are currently a bunch of robots to purge. So no particular rush on that. The only thing I really want to do is get a clone vat going here. And this will become a mining world. We did end up with a bunch of human superiors, which we will end up shifting over to one of the worlds where we will be declining humans due to overcrowding. I'm not going to bother changing them to human cyborgs at this point, since I should be able to decline them. We do, however, need to get a new parahuman over here to force growth on it, or any species. I could move a Philodolan or something over here. Matter of fact, let's do that. Let's take a Philodolan from Unity. Unity can spare one. And we will just have this churn out Philodolans. And I do need to mark that I'm going to need an extra Philodolan at Unity. Now, Destinicon is going to need to be renamed. It can go ahead and upgrade the central control. It also has human superiors. And it has people to decline already. Now, we should be cleared of robots on this one by next maintenance cycle, I believe. If we are not, I can transfer a couple more from Bags to decline. Now, this is going to end up being a research station. And I believe I'm going to do the same. This is going to be another one that I am going to deal with overcrowded humans on. But we'll go ahead and upgrade the administration here. And then prepare this world to be another one that declines. I think I will focus on research instead of leisure. No, I am going to need high amenities to overcompensate for the overcrowding. So I will still use leisure districts. Let's actually make this a leisure station. So I will end up using leisure districts after I upgrade the administration here. But I will fill it up with research down here. Now, I did decide to use research buildings here as well, because unemployed rulers have no valid auto-migration destinations. So after we get this research lab built and the Hypercoms Forum upgraded, I can replace the Galactic Stock Exchange with more research, and when I get rid of the human superiors, I can replace the commerce megaplexes with a research institute. Now, the other thing I need to deal with is any new civilians I picked up. Looks like they have all of the things here, but I can use this ship, this disposable ship, to go to Taramzal. in preparation to build the gateway. They have a robot colony ship. We are going to disband that. We can disband the Nomad here. Or actually, no. It's already assisting research. We can just leave that one there. Though we do need to rename it. We will call this one the Overwatch. And we actually do need to upgrade it, most likely. And then send it back to assist research here. We're going to disband all of these armies. And we will send this one to assist research at Neville's Bay. And along the way, we will have it upgrade to the latest designs. It looks like that canceled the order, even though I control-shifted. Well, no, I think I actually hit caps lock, so I was hitting shift caps lock. That's the reason it interrupted. Now, we would also have picked up some new military fleets. We're just going to rename these fleets real quick. And have them merge. And move to Bombala. Actually, no, we'll have them move to Jotham. There is a crew quarters here, but not a construction yard, so there are no other fleets that will be generating ships that go there. And we are going to go ahead and downgrade these stations, because we will not need them. And actually, let's have this upgrade along the way. Just so it'll get over there faster. The few days it will spend upgrading will improve its sublight enough to cut some travel time off. Now, I did rename their Destinicon to Nagigi's Folly in remembrance of the fact that I'm having to integrate all these subjects, because I had the first Empress Nagigi was actually a little bit genocidal. And yes, I know, I was actually the one who was genocidal. I'm just blaming the Empress. Griffin Services gave us minerals and food in addition to energy credits. The first stage of constructing a mega art installation combined the difficulties of building a vast station with the complexities of organizing a museum and gallery on an unprecedented scale. With the basic structure in place, the vault will be top priority. Planned to be a marvel of security and stability, the vault will contain and protect the artistic wealth of the galaxy. A bold statement of intent. So we need 15,000 alloys to start the next stage, art installation maturity. I do have some surplus minerals I could offload if I need cash, but I could also just outright buy some alloys. The prices have dropped significantly. And let's just go ahead and buy a little bit extra cushion. Anytime you go to another area, like I brought up this, while this is still highlighted, clicking on this will not bring up the interface. You have to deselect it and reselect it to bring the interface back up. Same thing goes with fleets or anything else you have selected that doesn't deselect when you open up another menu that closes that window. We sold another Ignarval, which actually just about made us back the money we just spent on alloys. environmental ordinance waivers has passed. Will now be in recess for 2 years, after which one of these two sanctions is going to be in. Depends on which has more support at the time, most likely. Unless someone else calls an emergency measure before then. And that gained us a favor with the Great Huron Hierarchy. Now, one of the first things I need to do is I have been waiting to do converting of young Furbanites until I had finished whatever species I was growing on a world that needed to start growing Furbanites. So I've actually built up 6 of them to convert over.
New sitrep.
So we're going to go ahead and queue that up. Was able to pick up another mercenary company. Griffin Services here out of Arbitraeus was available, so I have picked them up. As I am upgrading these, sometimes their cost will become too much for the current owners to maintain, which gives me a window of opportunity to take them over. I'm also in the process of switching over some young Furbanites. I have quite a few to switch over.
New species variant available.
Got those switched over. They have put major administrative sanctions as a emergency measure. That's one I'm in support of, even though I'm in breach of the law. That will further tank my monthly unity. I have enough banked right now to deal with this. And we sold another Ignor Vol. That would be the last Ignor Vol at Mendos, I believe. That was surplus.
Ships refitted.
We lost the leaders that were in these because they didn't belong to us, so we will need to recruit new scientists. Go ahead and get the Voidcraft expert. Now this one needs to head down to Neville's Bay.
Ships refitted.
Go ahead and get another Archaeo Studies. It's the youngest one. Our constructor is done. As soon as the month kicks over, I can go ahead and start the construction of the gateway site.
Ships refitted.
And that would be the other science vessel. After that one completes the gateway site, I'm just going to disband it.
Construction complete.
We built that research station here in Trappist. This one is now on its way back to where it was sitting. We sold a Farine on Grinstead. And Grinstead is also where I decided to queue up the Ignor Vol for sale. We sold the other Farine there at Grinstead. Thebes is the next place I am selling Farine at. We have 3 surplus to sell. Tenderzun have established a branch office on Nova Babylon. They're working on the embassy first, so it'll be a while before they get to the forum. And we just got a hold of the Black Tower Vigils here in Siga. That just leaves the 2, the Fortress Banners and the Verzak Corsairs, for us to acquire. We've sold a Praku slave. That should have been on Camelot, I believe. There are 7 more to sell on Camelot.
Construction complete.
We completed the mining station here in Sillage. The Stevedore is returning back to the planet it was in orbit of to construct a orbital ring, which I believe was Nadal. Citizens Confederation of Gavazul have built a gateway.
Ships refitted.
Wyvern reinforcements have been refitted. The first wave of them. Gluggash has become continental. So we will colonize that with the Expansion 3, which is nearby in orbit. We'll call this one Paragon. And when we start colonizing it, it will be bumped up to a head of Harmony in the order. That leaves Pinnacle as our last one that is terraforming. It will be done in under 4 months.
Construction complete.
Bombala Station has finished all of its modules and buildings. It still has to work on its platforms. I've been struggling for minor artifacts again. And the first ones in the queue, use the ancient mining drones, which require minor artifacts.
Our pioneers have made planetfall.
So now I should be able to adjust this in the order. Now, this place will be a generator world for now, with possibly... No, it doesn't look like it's going to have enough districts to have anything but generator and city at this time. United Creche commonality. Latent sonic powers have begun to manifest. So they are pursuing the psionic ascension path. And let's quickly check the 3... Yeah, Allied Maltic still owns the Fortress banners. Citizens Alliance of Orcam still has the Verzak Corsairs. And those are the only 2 that we don't currently control that are in our territory. And as it turns out, the auto decline from overcrowding does not function when you only have 1 citizen species. There are no species that can be declined. It will not auto decline humans because humans are my only species with full citizenship. And it will not decline your only species. That is a change from the last time I used declining from overcrowding. I believe it will still work if you have multiple citizen species, but you cannot decline your only citizen species. I guess they put that fix in there for people who were killing off their only species, but I still think it should be possible to do. So I'm a little disappointed in that. That means I'm going to have to go back to my alternate workaround, which is to shuffle the pops I don't want onto a planet and give it to somebody I'm going to go to war with so I can wipe the planet. In the interim, I do need to bring somebody over here to decline, so we will pull a Habenti from Jenna, and it should begin auto-declining that species, if not immediately, then next month. And I can keep species over here to be auto-declined while I work on reorganizing. I believe I am going to take Xanadora and shuffle populations over to it to get rid of and give this to the United Nations of Earth, since I will be taking this system and that one back away from them and then turning around and giving that system to the Tender Sun so that they can upgrade the other Dyson Sphere for me. Now, I do need to make a note that I removed a Habenti from Jenna. We've almost gotten all the surplus species off of Jenna. It's just Habenti that was surplus there. Now, I am still going to be currently shuffling surplus humans to Neville's Bay to get them to demote downward. We sold a Praku. That would be on Camelot, I believe. We have 6 more there to sell. Unemployment and poverty are spreading at an alarming rate on Neville's Bay. The sorry state of affairs is being exploited by local crime organizations who find themselves awash with both easy marks and desperate recruits. As a temporary solution, we could increase the unemployment benefits on the planet. It will not be cheap, but it would provide additional time to seek a more permanent solution, such as creating more jobs or improving the living standards of the affected population groups. We could do nothing, but this would likely result in the formation of a significant criminal underworld on Neville's Bay. That's really going to hit into my consumer goods, considering how many rulers I have unemployed here. We have 50 crime reduction. Even if it goes up 15, we should still be able to get rid of the criminal underworld. It will take 5 years to do because we only have 1 enforcer here. A few criminals are no concern. We're going to be fixing this world eventually. So now let's pop down a criminal. That's 49 and 49. There might be a little bit of crime when this job is filled. The Kelbrian Network declared war on the Citizens Confederation of Gavazul. This is a new empire. And they took a chunk out of the Citizens Confederation of Gavazul. Yeah, this is a machine uprising, is what this is. And they currently have no relations with us whatsoever. Of course, they are machines, so I'm not really that interested in dealing with them. Let this war take place. Let's see. They're at war with the Hierarchy of Moffith, Kesem Confederacy, Adnoran League, and Oclaran Interplanetary Confederacy. So this is breaking up a little bit of the Pan-Galactic Pact. But they probably will not last too awfully long against those superior forces. Yeah, machine uprising. Citizens Confederation of Gavazul is embroiled in civil war, pitting the organic Gavazul government against the intelligence that metastasized in their system, known as the Kelbrian Network. Now, we should have 100% intel on them in about a month or so, I think. Well, no, we have 100 max intel on them, but it is going to take time for it to grow. Kappa Devils paid dividends. Yeah, if we look at them now, it says our daily progress is 0 on infiltration, but if we look at intel, it's climbing at 1 per month. So it'll take a few years for us to get a decent amount of intel on them. Overall, it would take about 6 or 7 years for us to get close to cap. Oxfaran Collective is in a non-aggression pact with them. We have terraformed Pinnacle into a continental world. That was the last terraforming process we were currently doing. So I can go ahead and go to edicts and drop terraforming gases. That will give us a little bit more stockpile of gases to offload. Now if we look at Neville's Bay, it is not auto-declining the species here, despite the overcrowding. So it appears at some point they removed the auto-decline from high population, even though it's still listed on the wiki that if you are at 25% overcrowding, it will begin declining species. And we are actually seriously overcrowded on this world. But it is no longer functioning. It is not auto-declining any species. Interesting. We sold another Praku from Camelot.
Science Division report success.
We've gotten loader efficiency 2 for more kinetic weapon attack speed. We'll go ahead and get thermodynamic yield control 2 for more explosive weapon damage. That will take about 5 years. We got some more troubling reports about one of our governors. This one has become a substance abuser. I really don't think 20 less years of leader lifespan is going to have a huge impact. She's currently 54. That's one of our newer ones. But if we look at our age, 140 years versus 160. So she's going to have about 90 or 80 to 90 years instead of closer to 100 more years in the game. We sold yet another Praku off of Camelot. That leaves only 4 left to sell there. Our slaves seem to sell in cycles. Like they'll sell all of like the Praku I put up before they go back to one of the other types, like Vereen or something. The Meshbin Galactic Coalition has embraced the Citizens for Freedom Forum and become more egalitarian. The Kelbrian network was given association status with the Allied Independent Systems. I'm curious how their war is going. Oh, they're about to lose a fleet over here. Let's look at exhaustion. Still no exhaustion on either side. That is odd, considering it's been several months. And we sold yet another Praku. The Tendrazun has established a branch office on Shrub. And we're just about to get a forum here, so I already went ahead and closed out one job so that I can take care of it after it's built. There, that merchant job has popped up. And Shrub was the other one. where they just built a holding, and they're going straight into the forum. So I'll need to keep an eye on that. Nation of Selnock Prime is in a commercial pact with the Mesh Bin. Yeah, they lost that battle. And the Citizens Confederation of Gavazul is in the process of taking over more stuff. Mesh Bin are in a non-aggression pact with the Nation of Selnock Prime. So they got about half of the progress in those few months. It will probably be built towards July, so I'll need to keep an eye on it around the end of May, start of June. Black Tower Vigils paid us a chunk of minerals and food in addition to energy credits. And we have a new proposal. Repeal Comfort the Fallen. Now, I believe that one was already proposed, so it's been re-proposed. This is by the Kellebrand Network. When they're obliterated, this will go away, but I do support this. Because Comfort the Fallen adds spiritual ethics attraction and reduces diplomatic weight from tech. Gives me a little bit of unity per job, but 5% is not going to be a huge impact on my unity. We sold yet another Praku. Yeah, it seems like we're just selling the Praku right now. When they sell out, I'll probably end up selling something else. Scientist Randall Skinner developed Carefree that helps with anomaly research. Not really any more anomalies to research. You know, if the anomaly research speed affected salvaging, it might actually have value in mid to late game. We sold yet another Praku. There's only one left to sell. And the United Antherian State has declared war on the Star Realms of Shar. And it is just the Star Realms of Shar in this war. The sovereignty of Tuxcali, the Adnoran Kingdom, and Darforge are assisting the Antherians. Which is interesting considering they are in the Allied independent systems. Why are their allies not assisting in the war? That is odd. Normally if you go to war with somebody in a federation, but I wonder if rebellions work a little different. Well, no, they didn't over here. This Kelbrian network ended up being at war with the entire Federation. But yet with the Shar Realms of Shar, they are not. See, that's a war of independence. And that's an uprising, a machine uprising. I wonder if non-machine uprisings work a little differently. Interesting. We'll give it a little bit of time and see if the Federation allies kick in.
Construction complete.
They do not. So, a war for independence, a vassal going against its own leader is considered an internal struggle, because these were a scalarium. Valamar Starbase has finished its construction. It is now fully operational as a detection array. And Nagrama Station has finished its defense grid supercomputer, which is going to allow it to field a whole bunch of ion cannons to help support my research ecumenopolis. Yeah, I planned out some of my critical worlds, my research ecumenopoli, to have like 5 longbows supporting them. So hopefully they can do some serious damage if somebody comes into the system. We'll see how it works, though. I think if they send a large enough force, they can flip the base before it really matters.
Construction complete.
Robalius Station has finished its last bit of construction. I guess I forgot to queue something up here. Yeah, if I look at my notes for Robalius Station, yeah, because I didn't have what I needed for a distinction, I didn't even think to queue up the torpedo batteries. That's all it still needs is torpedo batteries. So I just neglected that station. I was short on, I believe it was dark matter to do any platforms.
We have claimed a new world.
Verzak Corsairs paid dividends, minerals and food in addition to the energy credits. We're getting... Yeah, I was afraid of that. I should have sold first. Oh well. I'll worry about that during my maintenance cycle because I am going to end up spending some. But yeah, I should not have accepted that before selling at least 10,000. And we have established Paragon. This was the last planet I was currently colonizing, I believe. Now, it has no holdings for me to worry about. And right now, it'll just have 2 parahumans on it, so I'll need to move somebody over here to decline, but it'll be another cycle before I can actually decline anything. We've got about 2 more years before we are eligible for war with the Allied Independent Systems again. In that time, I think this war will be over and the Star Realm of Shar will be weakened. And I went ahead and set up a process to convert the young Furbinite I had. I don't think I'm going to get many more young Furbinites before I need that one converted. The Praku Interstellar Nation has embraced the Association of United Scientists and become more materialist. And we sold the final Praku on Camelot. So I put up the Praku on Melpomene for sale. That may impact my consumer goods even more if they sell faster than I replace them, which is likely considering how quickly they've been selling. And Norren League has declared Star Realm of Shar their rival.
New species variant available.
There, that young Furbinite has been converted over. Lost Rahenians built a gateway in the Geketium system.
Ships refitted.
Fortress Banner paid us a chunk of energy credits. So they finally built a gateway over here. That's where Geketium was. Wyvern reinforcements are now fully refitted. That just leaves Sphinx reinforcements to refit, and they will take a while due to requiring minor artifacts. The Adnorum Imperium has built a Juggernaut. I've done away with the template for the young Furbinites I am at a point now, I believe, where my developed worlds can develop regular Ferbanites and spare them fast enough to outfit colonies. It only takes about 2 years for me to grow one. It'd be a lot faster assembling one. And as you see, I'm down 3 enforcers here and still have crime under control. Same thing for Philodolans. I have enough surplus amenities. I can spare Philodolans for some of my newer colonies, and I grow them in about 1.5 years. We still got 5 years to get the United Miravandim Imperium integrated. Mesh Ben is in a research agreement with the Kelbrian Network. I haven't checked up on them lately. Yeah, they're starting to suffer more exhaustion. I'm pretty sure they are going to end up losing the war. While we're at it, let's just go ahead and check exhaustion here. It's about even. I don't see any current combat. Star Realm Ashar has declared Adnoran League their rival. The Hierarchy of Moffith has declared us a rival. I'm not going to bother returning that. I don't think that it's going to matter that much. More than likely they'll drop back down to pathetic compared to us fairly quickly. Because their fleet power is pathetic. It's just their technology is equivalent. And that's the only thing. And their economic power is inferior, but I get a little bit more population growth or something like that and drop their economy to pathetic or catch up in technology. We actually sold an oxen litter instead of a Praku. That was on Fincastle. Tindrazun built a new branch office on Vebrium. Right now the building slots are locked because we haven't upgraded the capital, so I don't have to worry about it yet. Mesh Ben is in a commercial pact with the Star Realms of Shar. We have a new proposal. Repeal minor research sanctions from the Citizens Confederation of Gavazul. I'm opposed to that. Even though I'm in violation and suffering the sanctions, I do not want to remove the sanctions. The Kelbrian Network has closed their borders to us. Cannot see any benefit to continued human intrusions. I hadn't even been in your territory. Shut up. We sold another oxen litter off of Fincastle. That leaves one to sell here. And we sold another oxen litter. That was the last one on Fincastle. We sold an Ichner Vol. That was on Grinstead. I have 3 more queued up to sell there.
Ships refitted.
Sphinx reinforcements have finally been upgraded. Those were the ones that took the minor artifacts. And that was the last reinforcement fleet I had to upgrade. That leaves Sphinx down just 4 battleships. I already have 2 queued up, and I am lacking the materials to queue up the last 2. But Sphinx is almost to full strength. I might have to rethink the Manta Ray. Because it is the holdup in a couple of my fleets, because it requires minor artifacts to construct. Because I'm using the ancient nano missile cloud launchers. I might switch those back to regular missiles. I don't know, since I'm using so many of them. It depends on if I start losing them in the next engagement. Because those are cruisers. So there's a chance that I won't need to replace them that often. Except in fleets that are just cruisers, then it might become a problem. The planned gateway in Tarim Zal is now got its foundation set up. So we'll go ahead and begin upgrading this. And I can disband this constructor. Now, it does turn out that United Nations of Earth can upgrade 2 things at a time, I noticed, because they had started on Reen Section C while they were still building B. As a matter of fact, they just started on D while they are in the process of doing C. Now, that's going to take 6 years. Or 5 years. Yeah, that's going to take 5 years. After which they will have another available slot. They may actually start upgrading this, but I believe they will lose it before then. And we sold 2 more Ichner Vol there on Grinstead. That just leaves 1, I believe. Yes, 1 to sell. And there we just sold our last Ichner Vol on Grinstead. At Norm Imperium is in commercial pact with the Tender Sun. I was able to pick up another one of our mercenary companies, the Verzak Corsairs. That just leaves the Fortress Banners for me to end up switching over to my team. Hisman Protectors declared war on the Ad Norum Imperium. Huh. And that puts them at war with the entire alliance. So they're going to be embroiled in a war for a bit. It would be about another year before the Ad Norum Imperium's peace treaty with me ends. Yeah, it's mid-July of next year. But they're going to be involved in a war over here, so I think I'm actually going to end up being the instigator. Because I do want to go to war soon to get rid of the Miravandian enterprises and the Fel Null once and for all. Citizens Confederation of Gavazul built a gateway. I might even try to wipe out the Gloucesterhenians, but I don't know if that will be possible. Because I'm not going to be invading worlds. And it takes 3 months and travel time for every world I want to sweep. So it will take a long time for me to eliminate the Miravandians and then come down here and deal with the Fel Nulls. And if possible, from that point on, we'll reclaim this sector area at least, and I may eventually jump over and just wipe out the Gloucesterhenians. Because that would rip the Citizen Alliance of Orc and Fung out of the Alliance. We sold a Farine. Oh, that was on Thebes. That leaves 2 more Farine to sell there. The Tender Zun have established a branch office on Lockney. So I will have to keep an eye out for them opening up a merchant slot. There's still a bit of time left on Vebrium, and there was another world near Vebrium, Hesperos. Yeah, for some reason I was going the wrong way. I apparently had control held down. Or it thought control was held down. So yeah, Vebrium and Hesperos both will have a merchant slot soon. There's a massive war going over there with the Kelbrians. We'll check up on them at the start of the year. The Delta Corsairs played a chunk of minerals in addition to food and energy credits. One of our scientists has died at the age of 171, Li Kuang. He was in the Asperity, which was the one at Varba, I believe. Yeah, so we're going to need a new scientist. We'll get the Voidcraft expert. We already had a Voidcraft expert, but it gives us another. Oh, and I guess I should tell that ship to assist research. Kappa Privateers paid dividends, a little bit of research in addition to their energy credits. Bastion Devils gave us minerals and food and energy. We're just about done with the interstellar assembly site, so I'm going to need to have about 10,000 alloys banked, so I will not be reinforcing fleets this cycle to allow my alloys to build up. Most of my fleets are fully reinforced at this point. Sphinx is missing 2 battleships. Kraken has a lot to reinforce, but it's battleships and Titans that all require a lot of minor artifacts. Nucker, Aboleth, and Wyvern are the only 3 that really need reinforcements at this point. Of the ones that are easy to reinforce, at least. We sold another Farine. That should leave just 1 to sell here on Thebes. Alright, we're getting close to these holdings being completed, so I'm just going to close out the merchant jobs on both of these worlds. And now that the forums are built, I can reopen a merchant job on each of these worlds. Our Admiral in Strike Force Scylla has passed away at the age of 169. So we'll get Gang Wang with Gale Speed to be the new Admiral of Scylla. It looks like their desire to declare war on us has finally gone away. Well, that's not going to help them, because when the peace treaty is over, I am going to start my war with Miravandia. While they're embroiled in wars of their own, is the perfect time to strike. Rishethian State has built a gateway in the Winkwort system. The Citadel Research Institute has recalled their embassy. That's fine. They're going to be the next one I integrate. Got 3 more years left before the Miravandia are integrated. We completed the interstellar assembly site in the Deneb system. So we will begin on the Locus, a humbling reminder that we are all part of a greater community. This gives us 10% diplomatic weight, and it takes about 3.5 years to complete. Actually, it's 3 years, 4 months, I believe. 1080 is 3 years, and this is 120 higher, which would be 4 months. So now the developer is returning in orbit of Marvel for when I get enough influence bank to begin another habitat. Which I'm getting close to. I've gotten most of my current habitats upgraded, which is what has been sucking down my influence as it comes up. You know, it's about 50 for the level 3, but most of them are all in the process of upgrading if they are able. Alright, so with the month clicked over, we're losing about 3,000 credits a month. However, we do still have a good supplemental income from our mercenary companies and selling slaves. Not to mention I get enough surplus materials to sell. We're losing a little bit of unity and a little bit of consumer goods. But both of those we have a fairly decent stockpile of. It is energy credits that are the primary concern. And speaking of energy credits, we just sold a Farine slave for about 10,000, which would give us about 3 more months. Now that Farine was on Thebes. I believe that was the last spare Farine here.
Construction complete.
We sold a Praku. That was on Melpomene, I believe. We still have 8 more to sell there. And the Eye of Baal has finished upgrading to a Bastion. All of its defenses and modules and buildings should be completed now. We sold another Praku, this one for 16,000. And it looks like our energy credits have dropped below 3K loss. We're down to about 2,000 loss a month. The journey begins. We are witnessing the inhabitants of Bunda 3 taking their first steps towards enlightenment. They look upwards, opening themselves to the mysteries of the universe. As artistic expression develops within their culture, so does art's power to capture the spiritual striving of their society. They yearn for something beyond themselves to believe in. Late medieval age. We're going to begin mobilizing for war now so that our fleets are in position. We need the Palpatine over here to deal with them fairly quickly. So we're going to send them to Raprix. Now, as far as fleets to deal with them, I think Pegasus should be able to handle their fleets fairly well. Let's see. That would be close in strength. They don't have gateways for reinforcements to show up. But maybe we do lead with a few. Yeah. We'll send Kappa privateers down this way as well. And just have Kappa privateers deal with them and keep most of our other fleets in reserve. Now, as for where we're going to get attacked from, we do need to take Limsa, and we're going to give them Xanadora. We do have fleets in the vicinity. We will send Manticore Armada to Nodox. Now we have the Griffin services here to kind of deal with what they could pop in over here. I'm more worried about flipping the gateway systems to cut off their ability to pop in. So we will head to Zubrix Mall with them. And we will also need to head to Beryllion with a fleet. We have Strike Force Einfeld here. We'll hold there with them. We we will send the Black Tower Vigils to Beryllion. We will send the Kappa Devils to Shorak. The Verzak Corsairs we will send to flip Epsilon Cygni. The Bastion Devils we will send here to deal with Lithorius. Manticore Stormlords and this reinforcement fleet, which I don't mind losing, we will send to Baratos to push into Kargaros. And that pretty much leaves the Fortress Legionnaires, I think, as the only fleet I haven't assigned. Mercenary-wise, let's check military fleets. That's the easiest way to know. Delta Corsairs and the Fortress Legionnaires. We will send the Fortress Legionnaires to Algorab. And the Delta Corsairs to deal with Geketium. Now we are going to have to watch. We do have fleets in the vicinity to watch the L gates. Well, the Delta Corsairs were protecting Aphelion. Alright, change of plans. Delta Corsairs will stay here. And we will worry about Marineb. We could send Strike Force Wyvern to deal with it, even though I don't believe they're fully reinforced yet. But Geketium isn't that threatening a station. And as soon as we flip it, we don't have to worry about them popping up over here. Or we could actually send Zarkon Pilgrim's reinforcements to do that. That's another fleet I don't mind losing. So it's going to take about 3 months for all my fleets to get in position at least. And close in July, I think, is when I'm going to start, during my maintenance cycle, piling everything onto Xanadora and setting it up as a trade treaty. In order to prevent unemployed specialists from moving off world, I'm going to need to close jobs on pretty much all my other colonies. So that maintenance cycle will take a little longer. I actually could hold off on this, since they are not threatening to declare war on us yet. I might actually have time to develop Xanadora a bit more and offload more people. We'll just see how it goes. Now this is going to really hurt my economy.
Science Division report success.
Yeah, it doubled my energy credit loss because all of those fleets moved away from crew quarters. We have gravitational analysis 2 for a slightly cheaper building cost. And let's go for applied superconductivity 3 for more energy credits from jobs. And I do have a field manipulation specialist who actually gets quite a chunk, also being maniacal. That'll still take about 5 years. We sold a Praku on Melpomene. That leaves 6 to sell there. Down to 5 now. We sold another one. Was able to get everyone moved over to Xanadora that I could, but unfortunately moving all of those rulers cost me a small fortune. Now it says I'm bleeding off 10,000 energy credits a month. That's not entirely accurate, but we'll see how it goes. And I redirected the Palpatine to wipe out Xanadora first. I probably should have had him over there to begin with. United Nations of Earth accepted the Wither system. And now that that has been transferred, it is time for war. Tender Zun will be on our side, but I'm not that worried about them.
Standing by to commence offensive operations.
Let's let it advance a day. There we go. And we can send our troops in. We'll actually send Pegasus up here to sweep these two. We'll send Strike Force Minotaur to take Abrez. There's no colonies in this system or in Zariadnus, so we can just collect those two. We will send the Delta Corsairs to begin sweeping this area. Ooh, I neglected the Recruitum Imperium. Well, Griffin is in the vicinity. Or that was Hippogriff. Griffin needs to move to Lindula to push into Allied and into Ad Norm Imperium space. Oh, there's also... No, never mind. I do need to get another fleet to Lindula, but we need to grab this choke point. So I need a fleet headed to Lindula. Dragon will work. Oh, I'd forgotten the Allied Multics were part of this. We need to get to that gateway in Ocheron. We will send Centaur to handle that. Now, I probably should hold some of my fleets in reserve for reacting to where they send fleets. Zarkland's Pilgrims will hold the Eye of Baal. Behemoth and Gorgon will remain in reserve. The Doomsday could push somewhere. Actually, I have the Kappa Devils at the wrong location. They should have been at Markaz. We'll bring the Doomsday down to sweep these areas. Dungavan Hooter will hold in reserve. So will Bukovic. Cerberus. Charybdis. Wyvern. And Scylla. Basilisk. And Sphinx. Aboleth is still getting reinforcements. Chimera will be reserve, as will Manticore. Werewolf will take Fontral. We'll hold Bugbear in reserve, along with Cyclops. Kraken is still being reinforced. I will push forward with Einfeld. Well, they're a bulwark. No, we will hold outside of their territory. Nucker is still being reinforced, and we have begun our mobilization for war. Now, most of their fleets are tied up in struggles. The Antherian State is pushing into Star Realm of Shar territory, so Star Realm of Shar and Antherian State are occupied. And quite a few of the others were occupied with the war against the Hisman Protectors. That's where the majority of their fleets currently are. So they may make a push for Ithilien, and I may need to converge fleets over there. We'll give them about a month to see if they give their fleets different orders.
Fleet action underway.
we have moved in to deal with 4 of their fleets here in Durban. We're pushing into Drisk, Lithorius, Seganus, Zublax Mall, and Durban. Great Heron Hierarchy was given association status with the Allied Independent Systems.
Engaging enemy station. Military station lost to enemy action.
Military station was lost. Where? Oh, that's probably because I flipped a station that had a platform. Because they have not moved into my territory yet. There's no way they could have. So we flipped the orbital ring here in Sirigoth Station. It doesn't currently have any defenses. Our capital is no longer connected to the Allied Multics. Let's do a quick check of their forces and see if they currently have orders. Looks like they're still engaged in their current battles. But this is something that we are going to have to watch out for going forward. I still did not see where I flipped a station that could have lost a military platform apart from Marath. It must be that I almost immediately flipped this and it had a platform that was immediately obliterated.
Science Division reports success.
At Norm Imperium laid claim to the Horaztan system. We've completed fleet management procedures. Improved fleet management procedures will free up the resources needed to maintain a bigger fleet, 20 more fleet capacity. We're going for interstellar expansion too, since I am currently upgrading another starbase. Which does remind me, I do need to check that starbase and see if it has anything queued up. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, we are bleeding 6,000 energy credits a month, it appears, with all of our fleets no longer at star bases. So that is going to be a problem. Hopefully we can continue to sell slaves to make up for it.
Engaging enemy station.
Manticore Armadas flipped with her station. We are going to send them on to Limsa to cut off this gateway. And the Fortress Legionnaires have flipped this system, which was a gateway system. So now we need to go over and push to Diem so that they do not have a gateway in this vicinity. While Catoblepus is pushing in here to get to Bellatrix to cut off that gateway. We have debris in both the Lithorius and the Cygni system. Now we might get popped here, but I will send the Pilgrim to scavenge that and then return to Ibn Tufail. Actually, it's not showing losing cloak in this area anymore, so we should be good. Now, where is Lithorus? Now I would get popped here, so I gotta wait until I flip the entire system. But I can... Actually, I'll wait until I flip the system anyway, because it'll give me a gateway, which will be a faster means to do it. Actually, let's go ahead and send Sphinx into this system, and then back into Bender. But we can go ahead and give the Palpatine the order to sweep Xanadora. Or bathe Xanadora.
Engaging enemy station.
It would take a little over a month to get there, and then 3 months to bathe it. The Norm Imperium laid claim to the Siga system.
Engaging enemy station.
The Bastion Devils have flipped Lothorius. And we will have them push on to Polgara to get Ordedius, which has a gateway. The Verzak Corsairs have flipped Epsilon Cygni. We will move them to Zipper for repairs. Werewolf has flipped Fontral Station. No damage, even. Now, this will give us more minor artifacts a month. Good. So we will have Werewolf relocate. We will send them to Revac to push through here and get to that gateway. We're going to end up downgrading Fontral Station. I don't need it. Minotaur has flipped Abrez. We'll go ahead and take out the space amoebas and then push back to Zadrian. Now, are our allies actually doing anything? No orders. No orders. I know how to get them involved. We will have Fortress Legionnaires take point. And see if we can pull them to the front with Fortress Legionnaires. Delta Corsairs flipped Rixum. Yeah, they're in combat with the Hisman Protectors there. But if we can sweep around to here and then come up and cut off this gateway, we can then try pushing through the Hisman Protector territory. No, we cannot. They have close borders to us. So they're on their own. But if we can push to there, that will cut off some of their potential direction of attack. And we can start sweeping down this way and basically cut them off completely from the Hisman Protectors at some point. Of course, that also gives us a bunch of territory we would have to defend.
Engaging enemy station.
Griffin Services flipped Marath. So now we will have them move on to get the gateway here at Helam.
Fleet action underway.
That would be us attacking the space amoeba more than likely. Yes, that shouldn't take long. Ishnor's starbase has finished its construction queue. It is now fully operational as a detection array. Manticore Stormlords flipped Kurgaros. And we cannot push forward here because of the... we will begin bombardment of Fritga to get it down to 50% so that it disables the FTL inhibitor. Zarklin's Pilgrim's Reinforcements flipped Gekedern. We will have them begin bombardment of this world just to bombard it. Actually, there's no real reason to, but we'll do it anyway. Strike Force Minotaur completed the taking out the space amoeba. So Abrez is actually, we will send the Remembrance over here to scavenge the projects in Abrez and then return. And we can downgrade Abrez Station when we get the opportunity. We pushed one of their fleets out. The Kappa Devils have. Or Kappa Privateers have. We still have them severely outmatched in firepower. Their remaining fleet should crumple fairly quickly, and then we can focus on the station. And from there, push forward to knock out the remaining bit of their territory.
Engaging enemy station.
Hydra has flipped Ilex Station. Hydra has a little bit of damage, so we will hold here at Ilex till repaired. But Hydra did not lose a ship. Strike Force Griffin only took shield damage. And it looks like we pushed out several fleets, or caused several fleets to reconsider. When we took this system, since we only took shield damage, we will go ahead and push on to Alpha Hydri, and then to Niama, and finally to Finney. So our point is to try and cut this section off so that we can get rid of the gateways here and then pinch the Fel Null.
Engaging enemy station.
Black Tower Vigils are starting to take a little bit of casualties, but they flipped Drisk. We will remain in Drisk for repairs. Actually, there's a gateway here. We could just pop back to Heteroscan for repairs. And have Einfeld move to Drisk for now to shoot down any troop transports that pop up.
Engaging enemy station.
Sphinx took nothing but shield damage flipping Gulea Station. Of course, it was an outpost. We're now on our way to Bender. This one may be a bit tougher. They're trying to move to Gekedern. But they do not have a gateway access over this way. I'm most worried about them actually pushing to Kelnuda. So that's the area I really need to watch. And have my fleets ready to converge. Right now, they still seem to be fairly heavily invested in their current fights. Like I said, while they were already involved in wars, was the perfect time to hit them. As soon as they manage to beat the Hisman Protectors, it will be a different story. They will mobilize quite a bit my way. I am hoping that the Etherians are able to get their freedom along with the other vassals. That will cut quite a few out of the battle for us.
Engaging enemy station.
Let's see if I can go ahead and downgrade Fontrol. I can. Fortress Legionnaires, flip Dorful Station. So now they can push on to Diem to cut out this gateway.
Engaging enemy station.
Catoblepus lost 4 corvettes, flipping this station. They're now on their way to Bellatrix to capture this gateway, and that will give us a nice secure area over here. They would have to push in from here, and there are no gateways nearby in the Interstellar Pricarians. Looks like that might be the closest one. So that gives us a bit of a cushion this direction. We have to quickly capture these before they can gateway over, because if we can prevent them from being able to just gate in close to the combat, it makes it far easier for me to achieve my objectives. Kappa Privateers took quite a bit of damage, but they managed to finally take Durban. Now, damaged as they are, we are going to go ahead and push to Kachada. And from there to Zathmak. Oh, well, we'll have to take Kachada first, it appears. They still have no orders. They are not participating in the combat. Even though the Tronde system is right adjacent to them. Well, after Pegasus gets these 2 systems, I may have Pegasus pushed down to take Tronde, so that we control all of Miravandian territory and just need to deal with the planets at that point.
Engaging enemy station.
Hippogriff took shield damage only, flipping Haneri Station. There are no gateways in Rakudum territory. So we will push on to use this as a choke point. And if we flip enough of their stations, it basically cuts away their ability to form a fleet if they have no anchorages. So if we can push and take pretty much all of Rakudum territory, that's one less participant in the battle, basically. Manticore's Armada flipped Limsa. It's now back in our control. So since there is a gateway here, we are going to gate to another region for repairs. We'll go to Hajiroskant as well. Still says that they're moving to Gurkedin. I'm not sure how they plan to get there. There's no gateway access for them.
Engaging enemy station.
Oh, that one didn't immediately flip. It took a few days. Pegasus has flipped Opreek. We did take some damage, but we did not lose a ship. So in that case, I believe Pegasus needs to repair first. We will return to Aten for repairs. Now we're going to end up downgrading Opreek.
Engaging enemy station.
We've connected capitals with the Miravandian Enterprises because we basically took over their territory. And we've also picked up a new mercenary fleet. And yes, we are severely bleeding energy credits. So I will need to correct that. I'll probably end up selling quite a bit of minerals and food. Actually, I can go ahead and do quite a bit of that now, just to get myself a cushion. Yeah, we haven't sold any slaves to make up for our deficit at this point. It's because all of our fleets are away from crew quarters. But so far, we're making good progress in this war. The Glostrahenians are attempting to get to Gekedium via Robalius and Marinette. So I have redirected where Manticore Armadas is going to repair to Robalius. Now, Robalius is a system that has 100% shield reduction. And I currently have Strike Force Wyvern in here, but they are not up to full strength. So they do need some assistance, so I'll be moving Manticore in there. Now, since Manticore's already damaged and their shields will be negated, they'll probably suffer some losses holding them off. And since they have vacated Dacia, I am mobilizing Cerberus to Euchromia. From there, I will jump to Dacia just to eliminate this additional area for them. It'll also get me a new strategic coordination center. So I believe after I wipe Xanadora, I will be relocating to Dacia to sweep all the planets there to claim this system. And I probably will focus on what the Glostrahenians have left before I move up to deal with the Miravandia. That should eliminate the Citizens Alliance of Orcamfung as a threat, getting rid of the Glostrahenians, because they will drop out of the Alliance. And then I can focus on taking out the Miravandia and then moving down here to focus on the Fel Null and the Praku Holy State and get this area consolidated pretty much with the exception of the Tendrazun and the United Latrepians. So yeah, I think I will hit Dacia and then I will sweep Gekedium and then move down to Lithorius and move along through here, taking out the Glostrahenians before moving up to deal with the Miravandia and then returning down to deal with the Fel Null, the Praku. Actually, I'll probably start here, sweeping Epsilon Cygni and down through here just to consolidate this sector. I can also get rid of the Kravadox and then move back up here to eliminate the Fel Null once and for all. And we will be struggling for energy credits if we do not sell slaves during this war. Oh, well, thank you. Okay, we sold a Praku. Strike Force Dragon took nothing but shield damage, flipping Goal Station. We now have a little bit of a foothold here. We're going to push for this gateway to cut off their ability to reinforce down here, and then sweep up through this territory to get Korak as a choke point. And actually, we may push on to Shulmak and hold that as a choke point.
Fleet action underway.
Norm Imperium broke off their commercial pact with the Miravandian Enterprises. That was not the fleet action that went underway. It's probably this transport fleet that's Sphinx engaged. No. It would be this fleet action here with the transports in Kachada, because we just moved in here. Delta Corsairs took no damage, taking Hokrai Station. We're going to be pushing along through Murga into Upstoth. Yeah, Upstoth. After we get to Upstoth, we'll push on to Asterius and then cut off their gateway there, possibly. Actually, there's two large forces there. So we're just doing an annoyance action. They will eventually push toward Ithilien, I'm positive. Or Ithlilian.
Engaging enemy station.
Kappa Devils lost a few ships, taking Markaz, but that is another gateway under our control. They have two gateways left here. So let's push on here. And after we get that system, we're going to have to go through Ansalon, which has their interstellar assembly, to be able to get to Holibray. And Strike Force Centaur took some damage, actually, but lost no ships, flipping Acheron Station. Now we are going to hold here for repairs, because I do not want to be losing ships in my fleets that I reinforce. So our push into Allied Multics territory will be slow.
Engaging enemy station.
Griffin took nothing but shield damage, taking Alpha Hydri. So we will now be pushing on to get to Finney and start pushing up this way to catch the back end and hopefully get to Wernal and Iastars to cut off gateways there.
Engaging enemy station.
Catoblepus lost two more corvettes, taking Bellatrix. But we now control the gateway here. So Catoblepus will return home for repairs, and I need to find my reinforcement fleet and break off a few more corvettes. Now Catoblepus uses Gorgon's Claws. So we'll send them to Zipper to upgrade, because that is where Catoblepus is headed. As soon as we flip Diem, we have cut off their ability to reinforce over in this sector. Their nearest gateway is Hydrobius. So we just have to finish consolidating this area and cutting out gateways, and then they would have to push all the way from Hydrobius, which means their most likely front would end up being Kelnuda. And I do need to keep a check and see if they're picking up orders at any point. That's following First Order Corps. So now we need to figure out where First Order... Oh, there's their forces. They're still following the transport fleet. So they're still pushing to end the war with the Hisman Protectors. So we do have time to hopefully consolidate and cut out a lot of their support over in this area. They're almost to the hyper relay. Why are they going to a hyper relay? They can't use the hyper relay into Robalius, can they? That's my territory. They must be relocating up to Fiestia. Oh, I think they may be trying to push around. We'll just have to keep an eye on them. But now that they are far enough away...
Engaging enemy station.
we can initiate the jump to Dacia. Minotaur did take some damage, did not lose any ships, eliminated the space amoeba, and flipped Zariadanis. So we will send Minotaur back home for repairs. And after this science ship finishes in Abrez, we will send them to get the debris. Is there any debris here? It hasn't popped up yet. I think I might want to start moving my fleets to Iflilian to repair, just so that they're all there as a means of dissuading them. So let's see my fleets that are currently idle. And let's just relocate them to Iflilian, since that is the area that is under the biggest threat. Okay, we want to keep an eye on Eye of Ball. And we will relocate everyone else who is idle that is not awaiting reinforcements to there. Actually, we're going to have Einfeld push onward. We will go take Biltron. Because the more star bases we deny them, the weaker their fleet power will be. So if we can occupy all of Felnul's star bases, they will lose their ability to field a fleet. As soon as Verzak Corsairs get repaired, they will take Ezek. And as soon as Fortress Legionnaires finishes with Diem, we will send them to Cilium.
Engaging enemy station.
Kappa Privateers suffered quite a bit of losses, but we flipped Kachata. And we will push on to get Zathmak, just to eliminate their ability to field a fleet. And after we get Zathmak, we will return to Durban for repairs, because by then it should be eligible to repair me. And we will go ahead and begin scavenging the projects from Latharos.
Engaging enemy station. Spaceport reports enemy contact.
We have contact in Ordinius from the Blossoming Corolla. That was to be expected. After we eliminate this, that will cut out the gateway over here, leaving their nearest one to be Terrazed. Fortress Legionnaires suffered a little bit of losses flipping Diem, but we now have control of this system, so we will come around to get to Cilium. And then we will go to Algarab for repairs. Hierarchy of Moffith declared his arrival. And we now control the capital of the Fel Null.
Engaging enemy station.
And we have jumped into their backdoor area to eliminate Dacia. Yeah, they're trying to bypass us by going to Bodun. We can catch them at Marinette. Now, one thing I should probably do is fire up defensive measures to improve my ability to fight in my home territory. But, nah, I don't think we need it, honestly. Ad Norum Imperium laid claim to Yamak's singularity. We completed an orbital ring in Detherius. That would be the orbital ring around St. Casper. We'll just queue up a hangar bay right now. Hippogriff took nothing but shield damage, taking Polkor Station. They will be moving on to a Clopperon via Unaria. And if possible, we will push on to get rid of the Rakudan's star bases to cut down on their fleet power as well. Of course, Antares Black Hole, well, that has an L gate. We could come in. I could actually send... Let's make a quick check to make sure they're not going through L gates. I could actually send Zarklin's Pilgrims to deal with that. Matter of fact, that would be a good idea. Have Zarklin Pilgrims flip Zukanis Black Hole and then return to the Eye of Ball. I believe enough time has passed, I can downgrade one of the stations I picked up. And we have to fully control these systems to downgrade their stations. And I believe I am. Well, I will keep this one because there's a mercenary company. But I believe I will end up downgrading Zothmak. Which does remind me. Okay, Sovereign Jazzajan has that fleet.
Spaceport reports enemy contact.
Now, since there's none in my territory, that's one of the spaceports I flipped. United Kresk broke off the commercial pact with the Miravandian Enterprises. Strike Force Sphinx did lose 3 destroyers and 2 frigates, taking Bender. Now we will send them back home for repairs. Oh, I haven't set their home base. What the hell? So we will send them back home for repairs. And they will need to reinforce again, which will take a while because these vessels use minor artifacts. Yeah, I can get 1 frigate underway now.
Engaging enemy station.
Medusa took nothing. Did take some direct hull damage, but didn't lose a ship, taking Nilon Station. We will hold here for repairs. Before we push on to Paunia.
Engaging enemy station.
Strike Force Dragon lost 6 frigates, taking the final station here. Or flipping the gateway here in Nugan. And since Nugan has a gateway and we control it, we can port back to one of our systems for repairs and then return back here to continue the push. Now it says this is going to fail by about 180,000. Even if I had the influence, I do not have enough to sway it in my favor. So 1.5 million is not enough. There's still some abstaining, actually, that could power against us. We need about 1.72 million to have a majority. Which I probably would have without the penalties. Yeah, that's 20% of my fleet power and 20% of my tech.
Engaging enemy station.
Zarklin's Pilgrims flipped Xantaris Black Hole. We're now headed back. That was a trade station, not an anchorage. Strike Force Werewolf did take some damage, flipping Ordedius, but did not lose any ships. Now, since Ordedius was the only gateway in the area, I am going to remain here for repairs. Before pushing on to Wahini Sui. Actually, since I control the gateway in the area, I can have the Manticore Stormlords push on to Wahini Sui. Reinforcement fleets can remain here in Kurgaros. Okay, they did move a larger armada in. We haven't flipped the gateway yet. According to this, we've done no damage. Hydra is fully repaired. It can resume its push. We will take the gateway here at Tharum. Once we get repaired from that, we can push all the way down here, hopefully to get to Uzun, which is the next good choke point with the gateway.
Engaging enemy station.
Bastion Devils did not lose a ship, but did take some damage here in Ordedius. I thought we'd already flipped Ordedius. Oh, we fought another colony ship, it appears. Delta Corsairs took no damage flipping Murga. Verzak Corsairs are repaired. So now they will take Ezak. Griffin Services flipped Helam. Since there's a gateway here, let's pop to Arbitraeus for repairs. Sovereign Jazzajan Assembly broke the commercial pact with the Miravandian Enterprises. So, yeah, because my vassal was forced to declare war when I did, a lot of the members of the Allied Independent Systems will be dropping their treaties with them. Which is one of the things I was kind of hoping for. Because if I do end up cutting them loose, I don't want them to have good relations with other empires. Okay, we have started doing damage. We've almost flipped one of the orbital rings. Did you guys change your minds? They're moving to the Uzun system. Where's Uzun? Ah! Yes, they did change their minds from there, which is good. We're still awaiting repairs here before we can push on to Uzun, but we would be able to meet them. Medusa is also in the area, and there is a gateway there I could pull fleets from if Lillian. Black Tower Vigils are fully repaired. We will send them to get Anselon. And actually, change of plans, we will send Griffin Services to Hajiriscan for repairs. Takes the same amount of time, since we're using gateways, but it gives me a fleet here watching Hajiriscan.
Engaging enemy station.
Hippogriff took only shield damage flipping Unaria. We're now moving on to this choke point at Acoplarin, which probably will force us to stop for repairs. Looks like the Doomsday has engaged a station in Azar.
Station reports enemy contact.
Doomsday flipped Azar. We're now on our way to Astora. And again, since there are no enemies listed in my territory, that has to be a station I have temporary control of. And more than likely it's like transports popping up or stations I flipped that ended up in combat, such as maybe here. Looks like we've actually engaged the fleets now. That damaged orbital ring appears to be on our side. Yes. And we still haven't really engaged the station, which is what I want to secure so that I have a gateway. Because the minute that gateway flips, I have forces from Iflilian who could plow in to turn that tide fairly quickly.
Station reports enemy contact.
Captain Ching Wang, the commanding officer of the Jade Trichome, served with distinction during the engagement in the Zothmok system, so I now have a new admiral. That was Kappa Privateers, flipping Zothmok. So now we will return to Durban for repairs that we control pretty much all of their space. And I believe we're going to end up downgrading Zothmok. Looks like one of their fleets has disappeared. It probably ended up merging. Yeah, because they have just two large fleets in here now. Cerberus may be outmatched at this point. Cerberus hasn't lost a ship yet.
Fleet action underway.
That would be Griffin going up against a science ship. We got 10 alloys in Seganus. We'll go ahead and scavenge the projects in Bender and then DM before returning to Alvarab. The Trailblazer will get the ones in Aliard and Bellatrix before returning to Vagapash.
Engaging enemy station.
Kappa Devils flipped Uchziki, so we will hold here for repairs because we have other fleets in the vicinity that are pushing.
Ships refitted.
The first batch of Catoblepus reinforcements have completed. Manticore's Armada is fully repaired here at Robalius. Okay, they've begun their push to Uzun with a significant amount of fleets. Oh, they're down to just one fleet here. They pulled out. We may end up flipping Jacha if they keep abandoning it. Now, Manticore's Armadas is going to remain where it is because they are still near Robalius. Strike Force Dragon is fully repaired here in Siga. So we will return to capturing these systems. Griffin did take some hull damage, flipping Neon. So let's actually go back to Razdan for repairs first. Before we continue our push forward here. And we took some hull damage and armor damage, flipping Biltron with Strike Force Einfield. Markaz should be, by the time we get over there, should be eligible for repairing us.
Engaging enemy station.
We sold another Praku. 16,000, nice. There's still 3 left to sell on Melpomenia. The Human Diplomatic Salacious Affair. The Human Diplomatic Corps has been shaken by the news emerging from the Soran combined clans. Our ambassador, who had been stationed there, has gotten herself into a serious mess with the Soran law enforcement. She is currently in connection with a salacious affair involving an astonishing range of serious crimes that culminated in a brutal double murder. I do not have any ambassadors. I have people doing espionage. As matters stand, and with rumors running wild among the Soranan, it seems little doubt as to Zi Sheng's guilt. The Soran authorities have required that the diplomatic immunity be lifted, so we can either lift the immunity or recall them for their own protection. Well, we're going to recall them. I don't care if our relation with the Soran drops. We're at war with them. We got energy, minerals, and food from the Manticore Stormlords. The major administrative sanctions have indeed failed. And we'll just assign Zi Chang to the Senate. And I did want to maintain a spy with the Sorans. So let's put Cliff Leonard there. Because when the crises hit, I want to do the project to draw the crises' attention over to the Soran, so that I can get the achievement for doing, I think it's 10 different projects in a game. Cerberus has lost a couple of cruisers at this point. We've almost flipped 2 more orbital rings. And we have most of their fleet on the run. So I think we are still doing fairly well. We've got the Juggernaut down to 71%. If we can flip the Gateway, that would be great. But it has been another 5 years. So thank you all for watching, and hopefully we'll see you next time.